Hey golfers, it's Dave from Fit2 Golf. Today I'm doing a review of the latest forged iron from the Golfworks, the Maltby PTM Forged. So let's get started. This is the newest offering of 3 forged club heads that the Golfworks offers, and through this review I'll be doing comparisons to the other two, the TE Forged and the MMB 17, both of which I really like. This is a slightly oversized cavity back iron. I would say that from the looks of it, it looks more like a kind of a player's cavity back. It has a pearl finish on it, which I would describe as being kind of like a brushed chrome. Although advertised as a super game improvement club, you really don't see the game improvement in it. It's kind of hidden, which is impressive. It has a minimal amount of offset, a kind of medium sole, a medium to thin top line. If you look at the comparison to the TE Forged and the MMB 17, the top line falls kind of somewhere in the middle of the TE Forged, which is the thinnest, and the MMB 17, which is the thickest. Compared to those two club heads, this is a little bit longer in the toe and a little bit taller, but it's not overly oversized. It's not a kind of a big chunky game improvement shovel. It really has a sleek look to it. In terms of how the club felt, I took this to the range with the Maltby MPF I-Series graphite shaft that I recently reviewed and like a lot. It's a good fit for me, and I thought it would be a good fit for this shaft. I went to the indoor range. I hit probably close to 50 balls, and I was underwhelmed. The sound had kind of a harsh clack to it. I could see my strike pattern. I was hitting the center of the face or close to it, and I felt like I wasn't hitting the sweet spot. It didn't feel like a forged club to me. I was getting a moderate carry of 141 with this club, which is a strong lofted 32 degrees. And in comparison, I just hit the same shaft with the Maltby MMB about a week ago, same swing speed, and despite its higher loft, I was carrying that club at 145 yards. One thing that did impress me at the range was the launch angle. I sometimes struggle with an overly high launch angle with irons, and I was able to hit these on average at 19 degrees, which is a pretty good launch angle. I was happy with that. Nice ball flight. But I wanted to give this club head another chance, so I set it aside for a couple days, and then I went back to the range with 2 other shafts to test it with. The Excalibur regular flex iron shaft, which is the same one that I carry in my main set of clubs, and the Kurokage from Mitsubishi, which I also just included in a review recently. I would call the Excalibur a kind of a soft regular in terms of its flex, and the Kurokage kind of like a firm senior. I wanted to see if a more flexible club helped promote feel in this club head, and it did. When I went back and hit more balls, I definitely felt a smoother feel. Still kind of harsh, still not as buttery smooth as the TE Forged or the MMB 17, but a better feel. And I would say that was even more pronounced with the Kurokage. That kind of softer flex really seemed to complement this club head. Again, I got identical carry numbers, same swing speed, 141 yards a carry. Still a good launch angle, but for a game improvement club, I mean, my 8-iron is just about that loft, and I carry that at 135. So I really was kind of struggling with trying to make this club work for me. Before I get to a rating, let me go over some pros and cons of this club. So in terms of pros, it's a nice design. It's really a nice looking club. It looks like an oversized player cavity back, almost a blade. The way that the game improvement features are hidden in terms of the top line and the sole width, it doesn't look like a game improvement club. The other pro that I'll add to this is the launch angle. It really does promote a lower launch angle, and that's what it's advertised to do. I should also mention that I think the price is both a pro and a con. It still comes in at under $35, and for a forged club head, that's terrific. but it's slightly more than both the TE Forged and MMB 17. Now in terms of the cons, I'm not a fan of this pearl finish. I think it could use some chrome accents, some mirrored chrome accents on it somewhere, like the TE Forged and the MMB 17, but that's really just a matter of personal preference. Another drawback to the club is the feel. It just doesn't have that forged feeling that I really like and find in the other two offerings from the Golfworks. And then there's the performance. I really would have expected more carry out of a game improvement club and at this loft. And in fact, that's part of what it's advertised to do, is carry further at a lower launch. And while it did have a lower launch, it didn't have the longer carry, at least for me. So it kind of left me scratching my head trying to figure out, who is this club head for? And I think as time goes on and more people try it, we'll get a better sense of that. But I definitely can say that this really wasn't optimal for me. So in terms of a rating, from a scale of eagle to bogey, I'm going to give it a par. It's a decent club. I think it'll work for some. It's a nice looking club. Just didn't have the performance to push it beyond that. And that's in comparison to, say, the Eagle. I would give the Maltby MMB 17, which is one of the smoothest feel and nicest looking clubs I've ever hit. And the Birdie for the Maltby TE Forged. So this falls into an acceptable range, but not quite as standout as those others. So post your comments below. Let me know what you think of this review, and also if you've tried this club. There's only a couple of reviews online right now, and hopefully we can kind of add to that through this channel to help inform people looking at this club. Please subscribe to the channel, and as always, stay positive.